Mason Miller with us here from Spring Training, A's Cast Live. You know, I think we always have cool spots where we interview you. Last year, I think the most fun interview was when we had you from Fenway Park. You were on top of the Green Monster.
Yeah, forget about that.
Remember that? That was pretty cool. Like cool. Thinking back, how are you?
I'm great. Enjoyed a good off season, and as always, excited to be back here.
You know, I think about for you what a journey was last year, because obviously you had a lot of success, but the number one thing was that you stayed healthy for a season. What was that like for you, knowing that, I can grip it and rip it and stay healthy?
Yeah, I knew it was in there. It was just a matter of going out and doing it. Just a culmination of things really in 22 and 23, and being able to kind of wipe that slate clean. And even if I was starting, I would have never been able to get to a full starter's workload. So just making that transition, buying into the thinking of David and Cox, and we had conversations far ahead of time. So just coming into the season, we were all on the same page, having a plan, and went out and executed it.
So now you can tell us, because you couldn't tell us back then. Can you now say, closing? I'm not going to close. I'm going to start. Was there ever that you guys are crazy? Because now you're an all-star. Everything's great. Was there that time going, this isn't going to work?
Well, it wasn't you're going to close. It was we were going to the bullpen.
Yeah.
So I think that was honestly better for me because I was able to set my sights on wanting to close games, kind of work for that, earn that, and then go out and have the season that I had last year. I think it worked out, and I'm loving the role and excited to do it again this year.
The one thing you always like to talk about with people who are in this role, it's the juice. Right. What we do with the closer, it's the music, it's the drama, it's the finality of the final 3 outs. So I don't think you really ever got to experience that. What's that like now when you're coming in and the music's playing and some ballparks there's fireworks going on? I mean, what's that like for you?
It's exciting. That's the time of the game. Everything that's went into it is building to that point. And usually when I'm in there, it's an opportunity for us to win.
Yeah.
So just pitching with that energy, pitching with that mentality that I just got to get 3 outs. It doesn't have to be pretty. I want it to be pretty, but it doesn't have to be. It's just just get 3 outs, hold the lead, get the guys in the locker room, and celebrate a win. So I love it, and I feel like I just embrace it and take the role for what it is.
Mason Miller with us here on A's Cast Live. Take us back to New York. You're going up against the Yankees. You're in there. We know the names that you're going up against. Your adrenaline, you could just tell. The adrenaline was pumping. We saw the radar gun. Did you reflect on that moment at all this past offseason? Like, wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, man, it's a long season. So I feel like I've reflected on that moment. And then we had the All-Star game, and I reflected on that moment. And we had a lot of other, cool outings and cool places, new cities, new ballparks. So really last year was a complete whirlwind, I think. And just being able to reflect back on the year, I take a small amount of time and reflect on my successes, and I spend more time on my failures because I feel like I can learn more from that and, make improvements to my game for the following season. So I honestly found myself thinking more about, some of the homers I gave up than some of the great saves.
It's a reality. The great ones, a lot of the great ones will tell you that's what they remember. They remember being angry. It's not about winning a Super Bowl or the championship, or like a lot of the great golfers don't talk about the majors. They talk about the ones they lost. So that's something that happens a lot in sports. We talked to Scott Emerson the day Mark Kotsay. I want to get into Mark Kotsay's contract with you, but because I think the commitment, what we're talking about with the future long term, but Scott Emerson says you're working on a changeup again. Now, obviously, you had a lot of different pitches as a starter. Circle change, kind of take us through pitch development, what you've been working on and you're bringing into this year.
Yeah, really, it's the same as I was throwing when I was a starter, just kind of refining it a little bit more and focusing on how I'm getting the ball to spin and how it's coming off. I'm not a guy that really turns it over. I'm not like a Devin Williams, obviously.
Yeah.
That can get the ball to spin.
Well, like throwing a football.
To get the ball to spin like that. So for me, it's just orienting it similar to a sinker and letting the seams work the ball down away from a lefty into a righty. But I think it's a weapon that maybe I don't necessarily use much, but I plan to use it more than I think 5% of the time like I did last year.
How important is it to just showcase something so they know you got it?
I think you got to get it to 10% before they even start thinking about it. And even at that point, if guys got 3 really good pitches, and the game's on the line, you know, you almost are eliminating one just to give yourself a better chance, I think. I could be wrong. I don't hit, so I don't know their approach entirely, but I feel like if I really want them to be thinking about the changeup, I got to throw it, you know, 3 times as much as I did at the end of last year. So we'll see. I just want to have something in my back pocket that, you know, given the switch to Sacramento, maybe I want guys a little bit more out in front than timing up a heater or sitting on a slider, just something else to keep them off balance and make sure that I keep my numbers where I want them to be.
Let's end on this. For this young core, and like Shea Langoliers was just down here, and you start thinking about Geloff and Blade and Law and yourself and this young core that's kind of come together. You want to know there's a future here, right? You want to know because you guys are A's, and you've come through the system, and it means a lot to you, and these coaches mean a lot to you. Well, when you found out, when the owner comes in, John Fisher, and tells you guys that Mark Kotsay has not only signed an extension, it's the longest contract of any manager in baseball. What did that mean to you guys?
I mean, we're just ecstatic for Kotz because, you know, he deserves it, and not only does he deserve it, he wants it. He wants nothing more than he's said it for several years through the struggles, through the transition, continued transition, just that he wants to see it through. Just he's a loyal guy. He's a man of integrity. And you know, I'm always extremely lucky to have him as the skip, and I think a lot of guys feel that way. He just brings so much to this group, you know, from his playing career and everything that he's learning continually each day. So we just love playing for him.
I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about year 2 of your journey and watching you continue to do what you do, and it's so happy for you that you're healthy and you're happy and life is really good. So
Appreciate it, Tony.
Keep doing it. We'll talk to you throughout the season.
Sounds good.